Hello, folks. Welcome back. Tonight, the 9th of November, 2025, the Senate voted on a cloture motion to move forward with a flat spending bill, but it included a couple of changes, including a promise to vote on the expired Democratic forced Unaffordable Care Act subsidies that expired with the sunset clause on the 30th of September, 2025, something that Nancy Pelosi told members of the House of Representatives when she was Speaker of the House back in 2010, just vote for the bill. You can read it after you vote for it. Well, the idiots that voted for it left a sunset clause in there, which meant that after 15 years, there would be no more subsidies. After the tripling and quadrupling of insurance premiums owing to the corrupt nature of Barack Hussein Obama's evil Unaffordable Care Act, those subsidies, which drove up the cost because of pre-existing condition clauses, now have expired, and the Democrats are demanding they be included. Well, we don't have $1.4 trillion to give free health care to illegal aliens and to subsidize people's health care. It just doesn't exist. So they wanted to bury us in debt and cause the downfall of America. But the Republicans have held firm, and they've promised to have a vote on those subsidies later in the year. But that's not going to pass. You're not going to get enough Republicans to join Democrats. So fine, they've got what they wanted. They'll get the vote. Additionally, there's a measure which was not specified, but three segments of the budget, presumably things like aviation, safety, food stamps, and the military, national security, will have a full year of funding. I don't know how that's going to work, but I haven't seen the writing of the bill. We'll have to look at it. But the bottom line here is that this is to explain the situation to those unfamiliar with the U.S. government, which includes a lot of Americans, and also to South Africans, because this is of note to many people who are concerned about the refugee program restarting travel to the U.S. There's continually processing of people and getting them ready to go, but no one's been coming over owing to the shutdown. First, the president's determination had to be put out. That's been done, but that was regardless of that, we had no budget, so we couldn't go forward. Now, the Senate has voted tonight 60 to 40. We were left waiting for a couple of hours while Senator John Cornyn apparently flew back to D.C. I don't know where he was at, Texas or somewhere. It's where he represents. But Cornyn flew back, walked in, and posted his vote. But we had it live on air for over an hour before he finally got his vote in. And it was 59 to 40 with Democrats crossing the aisle. Apparently, a couple of Republicans didn't vote for it, like Rand Paul, I've heard, but I haven't seen the count on the vote. Whatever the case is, the Senate voted 60 to 40 for the flat spending, plus the promise of a vote later on about the subsidies for healthcare, and also three lines of the budget being approved for the whole year at current spending levels. So not just for this 6-week period through January, something like that. So what happens next? Well, that doesn't mean the government shutdown is over. Far from it. That bill is different than the bill that was sent to the Senate from the House. The House bill, they marked it up and changed it, altered it. They voted on the changes, approved it. It goes back to the House. The House must agree completely with what the Senate has done. If they do, then the bill is forwarded to the president for signature and it becomes law. That could take a couple of days. It could take a week. So the shutdown is not over, but I do anticipate, given that the House is controlled by Republicans and they would like to see the government reopen, that it's very likely that they'll push this bill through quickly in the House and then send it to the president. So, all things being equal, with any luck, the shutdown should be over within the next several days. It's now the longest in history. The Democrats will have to wear that millstone around their neck. They voted 14 times to starve Americans to death by not providing food stamps. They voted 14 times to create civil aviation chaos by not funding and paying air traffic controllers. They voted 14 times to put this nation at risk by not putting a budget in place to pay the military and the Coast Guard. The Democrats, they don't care about Americans. They care about pure, naked political power, which is what I've said has always been the case. Self-aggrandizement, self-enrichment, and pure, naked political power. Anyway, folks, that's just an explanation of how this all works. The Senate has passed the bill 60 to 40. It now goes to the House. If they agree with the changes in it, it will then go to the president. Short of that, anything could happen. The House can make changes, and any one change, a date, a disagreement, something, if they vote on it and they approve it, it has to go back to the Senate. We go through the whole process again. Going back to the Senate, it's very unlikely they will get the 60 votes another time unless pressure builds. So I think that this bill will go through and will be passed in short order. But hey, I don't gamble, so I'm not going to make any bets on this. All right, folks, I hope that explains it. The shutdown is not over. The shutdown is not over. The shutdown is not over. The House must vote on the Senate amended bill, and then the president has to sign it. And then we get forward. At that juncture, if that happens, my prediction all along has been 7 to 10 days before people start flying. However, it's become clear to me based on information shared by people, multiple people, that many people have flights booked for like the 16th, the 18th, the 20th of November, something like that. If in fact this thing gets in place, those people, since they have flights booked and they're prepared to go, will probably take off on those flights if this thing is approved next 3 or 4 days. So if you have a flight, be ready to go. If you haven't got a flight, be ready for them to start scheduling for flights after this thing is resolved. Does that make sense? All right, folks, hang in there. It's been a bumpy ride. Longest shutdown history, courtesy of the Democratic Party of the United States of America. Thank you for hating America. You show it to us each and every day in your actions, your deeds, and your words. Cheers, everybody.